What if I told you that it had to be you? That if you ain't do it, nobody else would. If you don't start the business, if you don't become financially free, then nobody else in your family. If you don't become free in your mindset, if you don't become made whole and new, then nobody else will around you. And you may look at your situation, you may look at it and be like, I'm doing all this for people. People not responding how I want them to see. People not, they're not taking into consideration how much I'm going through. You may feel that way, but if you don't do it, then it won't get done. That's why God gave you the call. That's why God gave you the idea. That's why God put it in your heart to do whatever He's calling you to do. So, if not you, then who? There's certain mantles that God has given to people that once they walk in their mantle, it's so many other people who is blessed, so many other people who are made new, who are changed, who are revived, who are made whole again. So that's what I want to talk about. One thing that people don't know about King Solomon is that he had a big heart for the people. He had a heart for the people. He was a king, but he asked God for wisdom because he said, I want to steward these people right. I want to lead these people to righteousness. He had a heart for the people. And God sees your heart for the people. God has placed in you a heart that seeks to help people, that seeks to, grow people in every area that they need to be grown, to love people, to change people. God sees that, and He wants to use that to change the narratives of people's lives, to make a full 180 on certain things, for you to be a game changer in your neighborhood, in your city, in your state. So God wants to use you. And one thing I was thinking about is that people might want you to help them a certain way, but that's not how God wants you to help that person. The same way we want things in our lives, but God is like, no, that's not the best thing for you. God wants the best for us, and He wants us to be the vessels that places the best in other people's lives. So people may not want to hear that hard, tough pill that they need to swallow because it's medication. But you got to be bold and say the things that God is calling you to say. Do the things that God is calling you to do, no matter who will be offended, no matter who will be worried, because you got to be bold. When you keep on trying to comfort somebody's feeling, when you keep on trying to, make sure somebody be too nice to people. You don't have to be nice. And that's something that I'm learning. You have to be kind and loving, yes, but you don't have to try to sugarcoat everything, because some things need to be said straightforward. And don't take that as me saying bash somebody or do something wrong, but I'm saying that some things need to be said so that barriers can be broken, shackles can fall off. But you gotta be bold when you walk with God, when you're doing that when you're walking in that calling, He's called for your life, because it's not only for your life, and you have to fight. Because some days it's gonna, a lot of days you don't want to do it. A lot of days I have the thought process of giving up, but it's a continual fight. And one thing God has been telling me is to take the battle serious. Don't let stuff just continually creep in and then become a big problem. Just take the battle serious and knock out whatever is in your way and get it done. Be bold and take your steps. Be bold and just continue to take the steps that God has called you to take so that you can fulfill His will for your life. This is the last thing I'm going to say. People may not appreciate it in the moment. People may look at you like you're crazy. People may look at you like you're overly righteous. People may look at you like you're saying something wrong or you're doing something wrong. But if you know that God has called you to do and say certain things, then do it and say it, because it's not about pleasing people. It's not about the reaction that you get from people after you say something and they say, oh, that was so good. It's not about that. It's about if you said what God told you to say. There are so many prophets and priests in the Bible that had to go and say something that was so hard to say. They had to go say something that wasn't pleasing to the ears. It didn't make nobody feel good. But guess what? It's what God wanted the people. This is what God wanted them to say, because it was the truth. And they may not appreciate it now, but they will sooner than later. They will appreciate it because they'll see the fruit. They'll see how much better it is because you did what you did. They'll see. So you have to allow God to speak through you the truth, even if it's a hard truth. And I know this video is like 3 different things all in one, but It gotta be that way. It gotta be that way because Paul said, if I were looking to please men, I would not be a servant of God. But you are a servant of God, so that means you're looking to please God and no one else. You may have to cry sometimes because people that you love, they don't seem like they understand. They're not loving you back. They're not seeing the sacrifice. They're not seeing the pain you putting in to put them in a position of success and power and stability. They're not seeing the sacrifice. They're not seeing it. But it does not matter because you know that you're doing something that's bigger than yourself, and it's bigger than for you. It's for them because you love them, and it's more than just for them. It's for God. So just continue to be obedient. Continue to walk in that purpose, that God-given purpose, because it can only be you who does it. Because God has put the things inside of you for that thing to be done. God has placed every tool that you need inside of you by His Spirit, and He will never allow you to lack anything.